All right, I want to show you guys something based on faction and based on power for your formation. So I get the question a lot, just had it in the Discord. Mo asked, and he goes, "Hey man, is it better, to have all five of your formation to be the same faction?" And my argument to that is, you know, that's a multi-level answer. Yeah, that's beneficial, depending upon who you have in there, how you have them set up with their stars, their gear, and also their skills. Well, I do have a Blood Rose faction currently, so let's take a look at that. You guys probably saw that in the video earlier today. This might be a little hard to see, but that is Olivera, Katrina, Selena, and is that who is that? That chick, anyway. And then I right now I currently have Vivian in there to prove the point. Now you see that hero power is 48.8 million. Now let's see what happens if I swap some stuff around. So right now I typically run Evelyn in there, but for the last test I had Vivian. So let's make Vivian with no equipment and add that to Evelyn real quick. And then, just for sake of me forgetting, I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff back on Vivian as well. There we go. So now let's take a look. Well, I have to add her back to the faction, but let's take a look at what happens to the faction when I do that. So now we can put Evelyn in at 48.4. All right, so you saw the two differences in power, and we're 4 out of 5 on the faction. But if you notice that the percent on the buff of both, so you got your Blood Rose buff and your faction match buff. So faction match was 115%, and the Blood Rose went up to 10%. So you've got that. Sorry about that. So you have that. And the second thing that you're going to see is the ridiculous outcome on these battle reports. So this first one right here, this is Vivian. So you'll notice I have 190 seriously injured, and over here on this side you'll notice that the basic damage was 324, 185 on the attack, 173, 77, so forth on that. But if you look right here at the amount of troops, Vivian and Olivera, first of all, Vivian is level 100 in the Hall of Rose. So you're getting a troop buff there for Blood Rose. And then I think Olivera has a skill that also boosts your Blood Rose troop count. 2,900 troops. That's 2,900 T9 troops to add Vivian in there. And it boosted the power to, what was it? 48.8 million. Well, if you go to the other pick with Evelyn, look at the amount of seriously injured over here. 169. Okay. Now, the basic damage went down. And the reason for that is this troop march has 2,600. So yes, of course, the basic damage is going to go down. But if you look at the attack and the hero defense and the troop HP, troop attack, troop defense, so on and so forth, you can see where the difference is there. And I will show you, I think, one other picture here. Let's see, is that it? No. Hang on, buds. Let me get there. Took a lot of pictures of this to show you guys. Okay, here we go. Side-by-side comparison of the two marches when you share it. So look at the top left of each picture. So you'll see with Vivian, my attack and defense, my attack 65k, defense is 58k. If you look at the one with Evelyn, that's 70k versus 61k. So that went up. Now, two things we can learn from this is, one, you got less of a hospital bill. Two, if you're attacking a HQ, you're taking less deads. And three, if I must add another, if someone has annihilation and they're hitting you, you're still taking less deads because your attack and defense is greater. Yes, your power's lower. Yes, your troop count is lower, but your attack and defense is greater. Now, I'm suspecting that's coming from Evelyn's special weapon, right? That thing's kind of beastie, especially once you get it up to around 4 stars. Hell, even 3 stars, 2 stars, anything's better than no star and not having it. But another thing I want to point out too is take a look line for line. Olivera with Vivian is 3.4 million power. With Evelyn, she's 3.3 million power. So they have boosted with Vivian all of the heroes' individual powers. If you're going across, line to line, hero for hero. So that's kind of cool. And it's deceiving. And that's kind of where I wanted to get with, maybe it's not that great to have all 5 factions in there. Maybe it is. It depends on how you have your individual heroes set up. For me, as an example, throwing Vivian in, it's kind of a false sense of security because, first of all, she's level 100 in the Hall of Honor, so I'm getting buffs from that. Secondly, her Blood Rose and I think Olivera's Blood Rose buffs are pretty damn good together. But again, I'm throwing in a purple hero with no special gear, but does have really great buffs from the Hall of Honor, with an orange hero with more power, even at 4 stars, and does have a special weapon. So that is something to consider. Power plays a part, hero for hero. It doesn't necessarily play a part in the overall because, especially when you have that troop buff like that, that's a 300 troop difference on T9s. Obviously, the power is going to go up quite a bit, but false sense of security. So you guys need to try to share your formations with a buddy so you can check out the defense and attack for that formation. Figure out where you want that setup to be, because let's say maybe you have 3 Blood Rose and 2 guards, or 3 Blood Rose, 2 wings, or any sort of combination of 3 and 2. You might be better off because your attack and defense is going to be higher. That's where I think the true test of how good your formation is. And I think we did a good job of proving that in this setup here in this video. Let me know what you think. This was just a quick one we put together. I mean, I say it's quick. It's a quick video, but this took about an hour and a half to formulate and do. So I appreciate you guys watching, man. See you on the next one.